What's up everyone, welcome to Akuma's Arsenal, and today we are reviewing my lovely, beautiful, vintage Vostok. And I'm wearing my SNDC 81. I actually just took a super duper dope B-roll shot with it and a Nissan GTR, which was actually designed after Gundams, which in this room, actually, an art piece I did for my uncle back in the day. Check this out, this is dope. I did this, I think when I was like 10, so I can get a good shot of it, but as you can see there's a Gundam. He's holding some little army soldiers. And there's like a missile and there's a bunch of destruction, and down here there's like a tank. Yeah, got sidetracked, but yeah. I took a B-roll shot of this watch with this Hot Wheel, which is a Nissan GTR, which was designed after the Gundams. Back to the topic at hand. Yeah, we're reviewing my lovely Vostok. So to start it off, this is a 1970s Vostok, made in the Soviet Union in a factory which I believe now is in Ukraine. Well, some of the thoughts and the reasons why I actually went into buying this watch had to do with the scuba dude that Arnie lent me, except I already had a 200 meter water resistant watch. You know, I had the SKX. So I was thinking to myself, alright, I want to get a Vostok, and I really like the new one, but you know, let's see if I can find something else. So I went on eBay. I just looked at a bunch of different stuff. I looked at some vintage GMTs. I looked at some vintage GMTs. I found some cool stuff, but nothing really for me. And then I was looking at vintage Vostoks, and I opened up like 20 tabs, maybe even more. I just went through and said, okay, what's the size? All right, what's the seller's what's the watch, you know, what does the watch look like? Do I like the way it looks? What's the size? You know, how does the patina look? And I just kept on slicing and slicing and slicing and slicing until I finally got to my baby. I actually wore this watch into the pool. I made a video about it and I got it flooded with water, which was a pain in the ass at first because I was like, oh crap, what if it corrodes the movement? Oh my gosh, this is super scary. And what happened was, whenever you look at this watch, right, as you can see, if you look at the hands, they're empty. That's because the loom has been falling out over time. You see the minute hand? That actually used to be full of loom, and over time, since I got it water damaged, it started to fall off. It started to fall out. So if you look closely in the dial, you might be able to see specks of the loom. Just I know some of you guys might be like, oh damn, he's not taking care of his watch, you know, fudge. He's not taking care of his watch. Oh, look at his loom, it's not even good, but the more beat up this watch gets, the more I like it. Because a Vostok, you know, it's a tool watch. And that has an amazing heritage to it. It was designed by two Russian designers. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I think one of their last names is Belova and the other one's middle name is Mikhailov or something like that. I do apologize to the designers, but they did an amazing job designing this watch, and I'll explain a little bit why. So first things first, the Vostok was actually designed to compete with the 50 Fathoms and the Submariner. The Soviet Union wanted to have a dive watch that had, you know, a 200 meters water resistance, which back then was not as easy to do as it is today, really. So these two designers came up with a whole new way of looking at increasing water resistance on a watch, and instead of trying to purely fight back against the water, they said, okay, what can we do to make the water more of our ally than our enemy? And I'll run off a few of those things. So as you see here, it has a domed acrylic crystal. So you might ask yourself, why the hell would a dive watch need a domed acrylic crystal? Well, because the deeper it goes, the water pressure condenses the crystal, and it's domed, right? So just imagine the submarine. Why does a submarine not have any flat ends? Because if it's rounded, the water resistance is distributed equally across the surface. So the acrylic crystal, like I said, the water pressure is distributed equally, and also it actually flattens like that due to the water pressure, which is super duper duper cool. A lot of people complain about, but a lot of people complain about how the crown is wobbly, but I'm going to explain why it's wobbly. So I have 2 Vostoks. I'll do this with my Vostok and the new one, right? So if you go like this, right? See if you can hear it. Oh, I felt it. I felt it right there. I don't know if you can really hear that. Oh, crap. Alright, let's see one more time. That little clicking noise you hear, not the winding of the movement, but that little click is because the crown is actually coupled into, basically what's going on here is a crown, it's a hole where water can get in and damage the watch if you're diving. What this watch actually is, the Vostok, what the designers did was they made a coupling system inside of the watch. Very similar to a neutral in a manual drive car. So, you know, you're driving, you put it in neutral, then you switch gears. Well, whenever you decouple it, it turns off the mechanism that holds the crown in place, and when you decouple it, then it allows you to either wind the movement, to change the time, do whatever. That's super duper duper cool. And last but not least, the back, there's a giant rubber gasket. I actually saw it whenever I was taking apart my, not taking apart, but I took off the back of the watch. I don't have any footage of it, but it's a giant ass rubber gasket, and I don't know exactly how, but I'm pretty sure the metal just squeezes against it, and that increases water resistance. You know, this watch right here was directly in competition to the Rolex Submariner and the 50 Fathoms. Not really, I guess, in the West, because it's not like Vostoks were really sold in the West, but in the Soviet Union, they were thinking, alright, we need a dive watch, and this was their answer. This watch was their answer. While doing some research about it, actually, first of all, thank you so much for everyone who was giving me resources, Wikipedia links. One guy with I can't remember your name off the top, but Assassin's Creed photo guy plugged on the info. I think Sean Pollard plugged on some info as well. I just thank you to all of the people who are helping me provide information about Vostok and Amphibia in general. I appreciate it a ton. You guys get a really big thumbs up, and if anyone has any info about any watches and they know something, just write a comment and let me know, because I love to learn about watches. And on top of that, if I learn, I can tell other people and they can learn as well. So if you know something, just write in the comments and don't be afraid to educate me. It's very much appreciated. I bought this watch for $45. $45 including shipping from Ukraine. And it's a direct competitor to the 50 Fathoms. How much does a 60s or 70s 50 Fathoms cost? How much does a 60s, 70s Rolex cost? Well, I think this is definitely a better bang per buck. Not even bang per buck, just the fact that this watch was the Soviet Union's answer to the 50 Fathoms and the Submariner, and I bought it for under $100, that's insane to me. I think it has to do with the fact that maybe they just produced a lot more, maybe it's just they're not as sought after, maybe it could be a lot of reasons why this is not as sought after as it is, but it has the heritage, the history, and really the quality to make it, you know, a heritage watch. To me, it is. To me, it's on par with the SKX, definitely. And I've never handled any Submariners, but have I? Yeah, actually I have. Yeah, I have. But anyway, that doesn't matter because it's a totally different price range and a totally different thing. It has a bidirectional bezel, people. And actually, you can just, I could really just pop this off right now. Maybe not with my, could I? Yeah, I could just pop this off the bezel with my finger, but I'm not going to. It came on this super duper dope leather strap, and I'll show you what it actually came on if I have it here and on me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it came on something very similar to an aviation's band. I'll post a picture of it, of the eBay listing. It had it on there. And a lot of people were on the fence about it. Maybe it was because of the pictures. People were like, oh, you know, it's not my cup of tea. The patina is too strong. No, I understand all those criticisms, but if it was your watch and you had you've already built a strong connection with it, with every patina, the more patina it gets, the more nicks and knacks, the more damage it comes over time, and just the more you really start to appreciate it. And I'm very fortunate to have this Vostok in my collection. Very fortunate. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching the video. A little bit about the history of Vostok. Not really Vostok, but in particular the Amphibia. Remember, don't be afraid to let me know anything you guys, let's say I'm talking about Seiko, or let's say I'm talking about my Sarb, or talking about this or that or this or that. Don't be afraid to let me know things you guys have learned over time. Don't be afraid to let me know. Yep, thanks everybody for watching the video, and Kuma out.